Finally attract an alpha male who treats you like a queen. Before I tell you how to do this though, let's talk about why you keep attracting fuckboys. Here's the thing. Real men want to do things for you. Okay, they want to plan the date, pick up the bill, call you an Uber. So if you start getting all defensive and being like, no, I can do that for myself, then he's gonna feel like he adds no value into your life. And you're gonna end up attracting people who use you. So instead, what you need to do is stop resisting and start receiving. It's as easy as saying thank you with a smile. Follow from
Yeah, real men are not interested in being a pet wallet for you after you've had fun with all the bad boys. You guys notice how she said, oh, you just had a bad run, you're just attracting all of these terrible guys. No, you're not attracting the terrible guys, you're choosing the terrible guys, and you have no sympathy, okay? Expecting a guy to come along and foot the bill for you after you've gone through all of the other guys, no thank you. All right, nobody's interested in wifing you up after you've been with all these guys and you want to expect money from the guy that you end up with. It's ridiculous. Like these guys, make no mistake, the guys that these people have been with, they're not paying for dates. They're not throwing $100 at a dinner date to try and impress her. Hell, there's no impressing going on at all. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're reacting to a couple of TikToks. And be sure to leave your comments as we go through them, gentlemen. Provide your opinions and what you think of this situation at the moment. If you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord link in the description if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description. So if you're interested in becoming a supporter, helping the channel grow, that's a fantastic way to do it. But guys, we're just going to jump straight back into this one, analyze this one, and then jump into another and possibly a couple of stories if we have time. So let's jump right into it.
Finally attract an alpha male who treats you like a queen. Before I tell you how to do this though, let's talk about why you keep attracting fuckboys. Here's the thing. Real men want to do things for you.
Yeah, again, I mean, you don't attract the guy. See, what girls want to do is they want to paint it as though, oh, well, I had nothing to do with the partners that I chose. Oh, well, I haven't, all these decisions that I made, all these dating decisions, they weren't my choice. I was pressured into it, or I didn't want it, or like all this kind of crap. Meanwhile, they're the ones actively choosing to make the poor decisions. It's like people who, who are overweight or really unhealthy and stuff like that, and then they want to blame the fact that there's a McDonald's next to their house when they could just not go to the McDonald's. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you notice how like the positioning already is like, obviously the good guys are the ones that pay for everything. Right, like, oh yeah, because that's the thing, right? What they'll do is they'll want to give a pat on the back to the guy that's paying for their crap, and they'll say, oh, good guy, good boy, right? And then they'll turn around and they won't even care about that guy at all. You see what I mean? Like she'll pretend like she cares, but she absolutely does not.
Okay, they want to plan the date, pick up the bill, call you an Uber. So if you start getting all defensive and being like, no, I can do that for myself, then he's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to equality goes out the window real quickly. When you can just get things for free, right? Like these girls will sit here and they'll be like, oh, equality, equality, equality. They want equal pay, which by the way, they already have. Like anyone who believes in the wage gap in 2021, that just tells me that you don't have a computer or you don't understand statistics at all. But yeah, equality, equality, equality. But we as men, we're still expected to provide all this stuff to be a good guy. And if we don't do these things, oh well, we're just terrible and evil, right? We're part of the patriarchy, Because like if we don't do these things, guys, we're part of the evil masses, right?
Feel like he adds no value into your life. You're gonna end up attracting people who use you. So
no, again, you're not attracting people who use you. You're choosing the people who use you and who don't care about you. So, you want to get into these hey, these girls want to jump from guy to guy and get into these terrible situations. Guys, I honestly don't care. Like, they're welcome. They want to make these decisions. That's totally fine. But don't expect me to be the next guy that you come to and to pay the bill for some date or to pay for your Uber. No. See, your standards, like, are where you left them. Like, I'm not paying full price for this crap. Okay? And not only that, guys, like, the thing you have to realize is not only are you doing things that another guy had to do, oftentimes she's also still like bonded to the person before. So like that guy that didn't pay anything to see her and she just came over, she'd run back to him in a second. You see what I'm saying? So the bond you actually have with this girl is incredibly fragile. Like it might as well not even exist because if you're providing all this stuff and you're doing all of these things and being nice and everything, what you really become is just a doormat. She'll smile and she'll say thank you, but like if you lack the self-respect, she's just going to treat you like a doormat. So there's no point, because even if you make a relationship with these people under the conditions that you provide crap, um, it's incredibly fragile, and you're either A, going to get cheated on, B, you're going to get monkey branched on really quick, or C, she's like, nothing good comes of it for you.
Instead, what you need to do is stop resisting and start receiving. It's as easy as saying thank you with a smile.
Yeah, and we'll just brush it off as if it's a nice thing and not just being entitled, right? But guys, we're going to jump into today's second TikTok, which I find a lot more interesting than this one. And this is what girls look like when they're in these particular situations. So let's have a look at this one.
Second boyfriend was my longest relationship. Okay, I have a genuine question that I need someone to answer for me. So, my very first boyfriend, I don't even count him because we didn't date that long. But, I fucked with him. I liked him. He cheated on me. And it wasn't until after he cheated on me where I was like, oh my god, like, I like him, I love him. My second boyfriend was my longest relationship and my last relationship. I remember somewhere in the middle, he texted his ex, and I was like, oh my god. It wasn't until after he texted his ex where I really started fucking with him. And then we broke up. And it wasn't until he stopped giving me attention where I was like, I love this man. He was my first love. But when I was in a relationship with him, I didn't even see long term with him. Like, I liked him, but it wasn't like that. So my question is, what does that mean for me? What is the underlying issue? Why do I only fuck with guys more when they do me? Okay, I have a genuine question.
Yeah, I mean, guys, there's just so many problems here to unravel, right? And the sad part about it is this is incredibly common. Like, we get a lot of people come to this channel, guys, and they think that we're joking about this. Like, they look at us and they're like, oh, yeah, well, these guys are just, they're just bitter or whatever the hell, or none of this even makes any sense. Like, evolutionary psychology is just bro science. There's no substance to it. Meanwhile, this is happening. Okay? Like, you get people having a cry about it, man. They're like, oh, well, none of this makes any sense. Like, none of this stuff you talk about actually happens. Oh, believe me, it does. You want to talk about marriage for a second? You want to talk about divorce? You want to talk about how relationships actually work for any length of time? I mean, like, the good thing about TikTok, I will say this, I really don't like the app. I think it's absolutely terrible for your brain. But the good thing about it is it shows what people are really like. Okay, now this lady could be joking or whatever the case, but the fact of the matter is there are a lot of people like this. All right, and the unfortunate truth of it is, guys, is like, they'll want to brush it off as if they're attracted to the guy that provides for them, the guy who's nice, and the guy who does this and that for them. But that's not actually what they respond to. A lot of the times, like, depending on the family situation as well, because usually it depends how much the father was around in the home, they respond to negativity. It's not as if girls do not respond so much to positive stimulus anymore, because that's all they get online. They can post a picture of themselves online. Oh, girl, you're beautiful. You're fantastic. Their DMs will fill up in 2 seconds, right? So they're getting all of this positive stimulus. It becomes boring. It actually becomes disingenuous to them. Get that, guys, right? Like, they receive so many compliments and so many nice things about them that the compliments actually become disingenuous. Isn't that interesting?
Question that I need someone to answer for me. So, my very first boyfriend, I don't even count him because we didn't date that long.
I don't even count him because we didn't date that long, right? You ever been in a relationship with a girl, guys? Maybe you like her a lot, but you only dated for like a couple of months, and she just wasn't that into you, so she ditched you or something like that. Oh yeah, she didn't even count you. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that funny, man? Like, they just don't even count it. And mind you, even when they're in the long-term relationships, they might not even count those either. Like, you're just a temporary meal plan, or you're just some stability while she goes through a rough patch. Maybe she needs a bit of extra validation on top. Maybe she needs some help with their rent. Who the hell knows? But a lot of times, even the long relationships, they look at it and go, "Oh yeah, well he he wasn't even a serious long-term thing," or "I don't count him."
But I fucked with him. I liked him. He cheated on me, and it wasn't until after he cheated on me where I was like, oh my god, like, I like him. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, that word, that oh yeah, I loved him. I mean, that wouldn't have mattered where you placed it in the relationship. You can place it at the beginning, you can place it at the end, you can place it in the middle. Nobody cares because it actually doesn't mean anything when it leaves your mouth. All right, like now, am I saying like all girls like this? Absolutely not. Right? It's to varying degrees. Right? A lot of the times as well, it depends on how much validation they get. It depends on their social media exposure. Okay, so girls who are on social media a lot, getting all of these compliments and stuff like that. What happens, gentlemen, is their dopamine receptors get fried, and they don't respond to the positivity anymore. Like it literally doesn't matter because they have all these people in their in their inbox saying, "Oh, you're right about this issue," or "You're beautiful," and all this kind of crap. It gets to their head, right? And the thing about it is, they know that they could be a crappy person on the inside, right? They know that they can be an absolutely terrible person, and they're surrounded with all of these yes men telling them they're beautiful. So they're actually disgusted by those people a lot of the time. They actually kind of have like two images of themselves, right? They have the image that, the perception that people have of them, and then they have how they feel about inside. And a lot of dating advice gurus and crap will talk about this, gentlemen. But if you're going to talk to someone, like the best way to communicate with them is actually how they perceive themselves. Generally speaking, I know that's really cringe to say, but like if you talk to these people and their self-esteem is crap, and you're sitting there trying to boost their self-esteem, like I'm sure you guys have all had that experience, right? Where like, oh, she doesn't feel pretty or whatever. Like these girls will get validated to the damn moon. You got all these guys saying nice things, all these girls saying nice things, and it doesn't matter what they say. Like, because their self-esteem cannot be fixed that way. So it actually becomes like a disgusting process to them to have these things said. But when you say, oh, you know, oh, your hair looks a bit funny today. Did you straighten it different? Or like, or, did you do your hair differently? And she's like, yeah. And you say, oh, yeah, I can tell. And you just leave it at that. It pokes at the insecurity, and it makes them think that what you're saying is you actually come across as more genuine because they know they did a crappy job on their hair. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, the difference between how these people perceive themselves and how others perceive them is really different. All right.
My second boyfriend was my longest relationship and my last relationship. I remember somewhere in the middle, he like texted his ex, and I was like, oh my god. It wasn't until after he texted his ex where I really started fucking with him.
Yeah, you see that? Like when he either A, demonstrates options, or B, demonstrates that he's going to leave. This is one of the reasons. This is not the only reason why I say this and why other content creators say this, guys, is like a lot of your power actually comes from walking away and having self-respect. Like you get a lot of gentlemen in relationships, long-term relationships, marriages, whatever the hell, and you're just putting up with crap that's so unnecessary. Like it's not, I've said this so many times, guys, but it's not your job to go around fixing crap. Okay, it's actually a trap, right? A lot of the times it's like what they'll do is they'll like cry about it, or they'll put their emotions into it, or like I just feel like he just never helps out around the house, and you're thinking to yourself, what, man? Like I do all of this for the house, and you're telling me that I'm not helping out? You see, the helping around the house isn't the damn issue. It's the fact that even if you did, they can't appreciate it, and even if you did, what you're showing is you're not leading anything. You see, the issue is like, as much as people want to say otherwise, like these people who are insecure about themselves, they're anxious, which, a lot of these girls are anxious, guys. Let's not pretend like that's anything new. They want to be led in situations. Like they don't want to decide where to go for a date. They don't want to decide where to drive. They don't want to decide anything. They'd prefer that you did all of that kind of thing. And hey, I don't care about doing that kind of crap. But I mean, they're just so fragile when it comes to relationships, right? It's like they won't respect you unless you're leading, right? It doesn't matter what they say. They can want equality. They can want to lead the relationship. At the end of the day, they're disgusted when they're not being led, or like when you're not in charge of the situation.
And then we broke up. And it wasn't until he stopped giving me attention where I was like, I love this man. He was my first love. But when I was in a relationship with him, I didn't even see long term with him. Like, I like.
Yeah, guys, you can be in a relation. Imagine that, right? You're in a relationship with a girl for like half a year, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is just a temporary thing. This is actually what these people think, man. Like you're just like this temporary little fleeting blip that's on their life. Like, and make no mistake, here's the really disgusting part about it. Okay, while in a relationship, this girl would be saying to that man how much she loves him and how much she appreciates him, or she'd be lying through her damn teeth about the state of how she feels in that relationship. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see how, like, the words are just never to be trusted? And another thing to point out here, guys, as well, is I'm sure you picked up on it as well. You know, she said that these were her first two boyfriends. I bet that there were guys she was seeing in between them before or after, likely all three. It's not as if she went from one small relationship to the next one, which was really long. That's not how it works. Like, it's when girls say they're single, guys, or they had a break from relationships. Yeah, you can bet they had a break from relationships, but like, it's never as though they're single and they're not actually seeing people between the situations.
Liked him, but it wasn't like that. So my question is, what does that mean for me? What is the underlying issue? Why don't they fuck with guys more when they do me? Okay,
Yeah, I mean, the question's just bait to get her people to respond to her TikTok, but it's whatever, I'll bite. A lot of this comes back to actually family, right? A lot of it's biology and a lot of it's family and a lot of it's social media and environment. A lot of people will tell you that it's the environment doing most of the work, and it's hard to disagree with that, right? Because family is a product of environment. What's happening in 2021, guys, is there is a huge shift, and we're kind of breaking away from the traditional family, you know, man, woman, child, dog, right? That's the white picket fence kind of thing. That was kind of the dream that everyone was heading towards. Now it's all this like, oh, you don't need no man, or if you are going to have a man, he needs to provide this, 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 and this. And you know, a lot of men are looking at the situation, going, yeah, no, thank you. And what's happening, guys, is we're just getting a breakdown because men do not want to be with masculine people. Like, you can't force men to be in relationships where they don't want to be. Okay, and what's happening is the dating market's just broke down so much. Couple on top of that, the fact that these people are getting the endless amounts of validation, so that they think that they're entitled to these things, right? And what you're ending up with is you're ending up with a lot of broken families, people who are not being led in the right direction, who lack boundaries, self-respect, and that's how you end up with girls like this. Okay, it's just like this big cycle that just causes problems for literally everybody involved. But guys, we're going to jump in and see as well if I've got a story pulled up here or anything, because I'm pretty sure I had an article for us to read, which might be interesting. So let's have a look at this while I quickly reposition. Now, this is something I've talked about on the channel many times, guys, is like, you may think that you're being kind and stuff, and a lot of the times you are, but what actually happens is you lose respect from people when you do things just because they say it. Like, we as guys, we want to believe, oh yeah, we can just do these things and everything's going to be okay, and that's just not the case usually, right? Because if you're out here doing all of this crap, trying to solve everyone's problems and stuff like that, number one, you don't end up having time for yourself. That's the first problem. And second of all, even if you do them, what you're doing is you're actually just losing respect a lot of the time, because people are going to start to walk over you, right? People are going to start to expect really stupid things of you. And it's kind of like this cycle where no matter how much you do, the person's never going to be happy. I'm sure you've all been in situations like where that exists, boys and girls alike who are watching this channel, the 6 girls that we got watching this channel. But, you know, that's the way it is a lot of the times. And oh, goodness me, man, I'm quite exhausted. I'm just trying to work this screen, goodness me. And, you know, you can try and force people into relationships where, you know, oh, she'll say, oh yeah, I want a good guy. That doesn't mean she'll take a good guy, a good guy's money, a good guy's time, resources, whatever. That doesn't mean she's going to respect him, okay? But guys, we're going to jump into this article here, and it is titled, Why Domineering Women Secretly Resent Their Submissive Husbands. I don't think this is so secret, but I don't think guys really understand what's going on here. Why do women despise submissive husbands? Is it because of their weakness or their unreliability? Or is it because they're whiny? It's actually because of the reliability. Like, not unreliability, it's because of reliability that they actually resent you. You see, we're told, gentlemen, hey, you know, it's a great thing to be reliable and always be there for someone, and whatever the case may be. I'll say this. If you got your mates, your boys, your homies, it's good to be there for them. Like, because they can actually appreciate it. A lot of the times there's a huge difference between what men and women appreciate, right? And it's like, if you're always there trying to solve a girl's problems, she ain't going to appreciate it. Like guys, on the other hand, like your mates, your homeboys, the people that you hang out with, that's a whole different story, because men actually appreciate this level of kindness. It's really weird. Pretty backwards, huh? Anyway, We all know a woman who acts aggressively and domineering towards her husband. Perhaps she's your mother, a friend, a colleague, or maybe you've seen her on social media. She criticizes everything he does. She makes fun of him in front of others. She's always trying to get one up on him. She is controlling and, quite frankly, disrespectful. When you see them together, the message is loud and clear. She wears the pants in the relationship. She leads, he follows. Most of them think this is hilarious, sassy, and even join in on the jokes. But what does this relationship dynamic tell us, and how does the couple really feel about it? What is this? Marriage is equal parts love and equal parts wanting to punch him in the face. Oh yeah, that's real funny. Like, well, I don't understand why you. This is actually disgusting, man. And like the fact that he's holding the sign as well. Like, I don't think that's funny. Like maybe I'm just maybe I'm just out of it, man. But I don't know. You guys tell me. I just think that's disrespectful. I don't think that's funny at all. And she's got like the thumbs up, and she's got a kid on the way. I don't know, man. I wouldn't deal with that, to be honest. When someone asserts their will arrogantly over another or mocks them in front of others, that behavior comes from a dark place. It's like when a person is rude to a waiter at a restaurant. Disregarding another person and showing a lack of courtesy means that they think that this person is beneath them. So when we see someone acting this way towards their husband, what can we learn from it? She doesn't respect him. The first thing we can see is she lacks respect for him. She is essentially communicating to the world that she has settled for a man beneath her, therefore she doesn't have to respect him. And you know what? There will be no respect given. Right? There will be cheating. There'll be, various levels of infidelity. I mean, guys, you only have to look on my channel to see some of this crap, and it's not as if I'm cherry picking this stuff. It's incredibly common. Like, you can literally get this, gentleman. Like, we get a lot of guys over here who are saying, oh, Taylor, you're just cherry picking this crap. Like, not all relationships are like this. First of all relationships have the potential to be like this. And second of all, it is far more common than you would think. All I have to do, guys, like, finding content is not that hard anymore. Like, a lot of times I'm just looking at articles and stuff like that. I'm not doing too many video submissions through the Patreon at the moment. But guys, all I have to do is go to, like, Reddit relationship advice, read through a couple, and you just find situations like this all over the place. It's not as if these situations are uncommon or men are just over here talking about this crap because it doesn't happen. It's like, it's very real. But guys, we're going to leave today's video there. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave your comments, what you think about the situations below. Share your thoughts on the TikToks as well, particularly the second lady. I thought that was an interesting case because a lot of guys don't realize how bad it is until they start actually explaining it and, how messed up it looks. But guys, we're going to leave it there. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure you check the Patreon link out below. It is somewhere below in the description, I believe. If you're looking to support the channel, that's a great way to do it. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves. And I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.